What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video. I've got a couple of channel housekeeping notes that I want to go over. First of all, the winner for the graded Lily Letty low gray was Tyler V, and I'll put his comment in, show his comment here. I thought it was really funny. He says that you're basically the CNBC for Star Wars action figure collecting, which I thought was hilarious. And to a certain extent, that's kind of what I try to do. I try to just show the financial side of it, and I know that's not for everybody, but Tyler V, you are the winner. I will reach out to you, and please send me your mailing address to my email, actionfiguregrader@gmail.com. But congratulations. Second, I want to say thank you to my latest Patreon supporter, Brett on Fett. He is a YouTube channel. He's just starting out. His beginner YouTube videos are way better than my beginner YouTube videos. Let me tell you, my first videos were awkward and stilted. I was just getting sober. It was a real mess. It was a real mess. Brett's videos are actually really well done. So congratulations, Brett, on starting your own channel. And I want to say thank you because he just became a Patreon supporter. So make sure to go check him out. Brett on Fett, a new YouTuber. And I want to say thanks again to Brett for becoming a Patreon supporter of my channel. Okay, so what is the point of today's video? The point of today's video is to alert you to, some of this news is a little bit late just because I've got kind of a backlog of videos, but there are some new comics that are either coming out or are already out that you may want to consider picking up. And I also wanted to talk about graded CGC 9.8 comics that are under the radar, maybe not being talked about. We've all seen what's happened with Black Chrysanthemum's comic books. They've just doubled and tripled in price. Dr. Aphra comic books have gone up. They've come back down to earth, by the way. They went up to like 700. Now you can pick it up for closer to 400. So FOMO definitely hit a lot of people who overpaid there. But I've got some other comics that are under the radar. Now, under the radar does not necessarily mean low price. I'm going to show you a wide range of prices, a wide range of eras, everything from vintage Marvel all the way to newer releases that are all graded CGC 9.8. And so it's something for every budget. And obviously adjust your budget accordingly. If you don't want to buy graded, you just want to buy raw, you want to buy lower grades, whatever. But I wanted to talk about books that nobody else is really talking about right now, or they talked about and it's already kind of come and gone. And I still think it's a good idea to pick them up at some of the prices shown in the video. First of all, let's talk about recent releases that I think are worth picking up. Star Wars Darth Vader number 20. Specifically the Sprouse variant, the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm. You can see the logo right here in the lower right. But the Sprouse cover, this is going to be the first standard size comic book appearance or cover appearance of the Mandalorian and Grogu. And it sold like crazy, folks. I missed it. And I'm just quite honestly, I've got too many comics as it is right now, kind of in process. So I'm probably going to pick one of these up in a 9.8 whenever they hit eBay 3 or 4 or 5 months from now. But this one has sold out like really quickly. It gets released on February 9th. So make sure to go to your local comic shop if you have one nearby, because if they have this Sprouse cover, you probably want to pick it up at cover price or close to it. It's already jumped up a lot in price, so I doubt local comic shops are going to have that at cover price. But this is the first standard size comic cover appearance of the Mandalorian and Grogu, and people are reacting accordingly. They've already announced a second print. The second print is going to have like the Beskar armor trim, so it's a silver trim instead of the gold trim. And that one releases on February 23rd. There's still time to pre-order this. So I would do that if that's what you want. But that's going to be the second print. It won't be nearly as valuable as this one. This one, the gold first print will definitely always be worth more just because it was the first release. But there was enough demand that they went ahead and released a second called Beskar trim version. So be on the lookout for that, because that is hopefully the beginning of the Mandalorian showing up in comics. And this is something I've talked about for over a year now. Why are there no Mandalorian comic books, just given his popularity? And hopefully Marvel sees the eye-opening, eye-popping sales for this cover and reacts accordingly and starts releasing some new content, comic book content. A couple of others that I wanted to point out. This one just released on January 12th, so a couple weeks ago. This is Star Wars number 20. And you can see Luke right there with a hologram of Yoda. But this is the first comic book appearance of Elzar Mann from the High Republic era. And he's a really, really cool hero within that universe, the High Republic universe. We all know there's a video game coming. There's rumors of a movie being made. I know the High Republic kind of comics are not for everybody. It's a little bit too woke for some of you. But I do think that this is a comic worth picking up at close to cover price. I've already pre-ordered one in a CGC 9.8 because I really like Elzar Mann, the hero Jedi. And, he appears kind of like in a vision. And, so it's not like it's because, they're different time periods or different eras. But he appears as a vision to Luke Skywalker. And it's his first comic book appearance. And Elzar Mann is a really cool hero. So if this one, if you can get it for cheap, I would definitely pick that one up. Another one that you definitely want to pre-order. This one is coming out, I think, don't quote me on this, in March. But this is Star Wars number 21. Again, the 50th anniversary Lucasfilm Sprouse cover variant. This is going to be the first cover appearance of Quill, the blurg that he rides, as well as IG-11. So more Mandalorian content is coming. These are absolutely, you can still buy them on eBay right now for $3 or $4. So if you want to get the first cover appearance of two more pretty important characters within the Mandalorian TV series, this is your chance. Star Wars number 21. It releases, I think, March 2nd, according to this ad. But they're readily available for pre-order right now. And again, it's the first cover appearance of Quill and IG-11. Okay, so now let's dig into some under-the-radar CGC 9.8s. These are all recent sales, and I'm going to start with the High Republic and get that over with because I know a lot of you don't like that. That's what I've heard from y'all. But there's still some books that I think are absolutely worth picking up. The first one being High Republic Adventures number 1. That is from February of 2021, so about a year old. So you can find these very readily on eBay right now. This one sold for $50 plus $10 shipping. This is the first cameo appearance of Marchion Ro. And for those of you who have not read The Fallen Star, which is the latest novel within the High Republic universe, it was a very good read. I really enjoyed the read. I'm probably going to reread it again because it was that good. And Marchion Ro reestablishes himself as the main villain within the High Republic universe. And so there's no doubt in my mind now that he is kind of the guy. He's the main villain. He's like the Darth Vader for the High Republic era. And so right now there's the Eye of the Storm origin comic story that's out there. But if you want his first cameo appearance and you don't want to spend too much money, you can get a 9.8 graded Star Wars High Republic Adventures number 1, the standard cover, for about $60 shipped right now. And or less. You might even get it for less than that. There's a 1:10 ratio variant with Yoda on the cover. That one goes for closer to $100, so about double. So to me, this is a no-brainer to pick up. I know it's not going to be that rare in a 9.8, but Marchion Ro is absolutely going to be a big character moving forward. Another one is High Republic number 10. That's the first comic book appearance, first full appearance of Lorna D., who was kind of written as Marchion Ro's right-hand woman or second-in-command type thing. The latest book, she's nowhere to be found. So she might be kind of taking a back seat. We'll see. But I still think this one's worth picking up. This one sold for about $60. Again, it's not too much over cost of the book. Shipping to and from CGC, the grading costs. I mean, this is basically about as cheap as you can get right now. And I think that's worth picking up. There is a variant cover for this Star Wars High Republic number 10 that has Lorna D on the cover. I actually have that one, and I'll show you guys some recent CGC 9.8 pickups in a video fairly soon. But that one's another one to look for. I paid $60 for that one as well. So we'll see how whether she has a big role moving forward. She did not have one in the Fallen Star novel. She was nowhere to be found. She was mentioned a few times, but that was it. Another one I've mentioned before. Most of these books I have not mentioned before, but there are a couple that I have, and this is one of them. High Republic Adventures, The Monster of Temple Peak number 1. This is the first comic book appearance of the monster hunter Ty York. 100% this is a book to buy. I've already got 3 or 4 of these at CGC right now. I've talked to a couple of subscribers who have bought this book at my recommendation. They bought like 3 of JS. He bought like 3 of these. So I think this is a book that's going to just jump in value because Ty York is absolutely an awesome character. She's like a monster hunter and like a mercenary for hire. She's got so much going for her as a character. And I think, this one sold for $66 on 13 bids plus shipping. and it's an awesome cover. I mean, that's a really awesome cover. It shows like monster, the shadow of a monster that she's getting ready to fight, holding her lightsaber, and 100% that's worth buying. Here's one that we talked briefly about. Lucasfilm employees received a Christmas gift that showed Tales of the Jedi on the side of the as a logo as upcoming project. And this book, Tales of the Jedi #1, jumped up to like $300 in a 9.8. Well, it's immediately come back down because there's been no news about it. This one just sold for $100 in a 9.8 on January 27th on 23 bids. And if you can get this book in a 9.8 for $100, I would absolutely do it, because it looks very, very likely that Tales of the Jedi is going to be coming out as a miniseries on Disney Plus. It's probably going to be, if I had to guess, it's probably going to be some sort of, Star Wars Visions type thing where it's cartoonish. But I do think for $100, it's kind of like a no-brainer. Now $300 is crazy. I wouldn't spend $300 on it, but these have come back down recently to about $100, at least in this auction it did. So just be on the lookout for like a stealth kind of under the radar auction, excuse me. And if you can pick it up for $100, that is a no-brainer buy to me. All right, so I got a few throughout here that are vintage runs or vintage Marvel runs. Now this is one that's expensive, but I do think it's worth considering, and this is Star Wars #7. And what's important about this one is that this is the first quote-unquote expanded universe story in title. And so it goes beyond the movies. And this one came out in 1978, January of 78, Star Wars #7. So it's an early comic. And it's still only sold for $310. When you got Star Wars #1 going for $4,000 or $5,000, and, Star Wars 42 with Boba Fett's first appearance going for, $3,000 to $4,000. To me, getting the first expanded universe kind of comic is a pretty good deal for $300. This is also the first appearance of Crimson Jack, which has been recently re-added to Marvel canon. So he's making another appearance in modern comics. So clearly they're bringing back some of these old characters, and kind of like Valance. Valance's book is now $400 to $500, his first appearance within the first Star Wars run. So to get Star Wars #7 for 300-ish or below, that's a pretty good deal. And it's a nice cover too. But the fact that Crimson Jack is now back within Marvel canon, you could expect this book to probably go up even more, especially if we see Crimson Jack show up in some of the Star Wars content upcoming on Disney Plus. Another book that I talked about is Thrawn #1, his origin story. This one just sold on January 25th for $220 plus shipping. That is absolutely a good buy. I've seen this thing sell for $300 to $350, but if you can get a 9.8 of Thrawn #1, which is the beginning of his origin story, this book is going to be worth way more than $220 once Ahsoka hits and people see Thrawn on the big screen. Obviously his first appearance comic from the Dark Horse, Heir to the Empire #1, is very expensive, admittedly. But this book for $200 to $220, that is a no-brainer buy to me, and I think you're going to do really well with that one long term. I've already got one of these. I'd love to have another one. Another one that we haven't really talked about, I don't think, is the first appearance of Hondo Tanaka, Star Wars Adventures #7. This is the variant cover. It's darker. It's a very, very difficult one to find in a 9.8 because it's so dark. It's a cool cover, too. It's got Kanan Jarrus and Ezra Bridger on there with some monsters. And this one just sold for $196 US plus shipping. I came this close to pulling the trigger on it, but I didn't, and it sold very quickly thereafter. I think somebody got a great deal on that because I've seen this exact book sell for over double that price. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, I know I should buy this. But I didn't do it. And but if you see it for this kind of price, this is absolutely a good buy. Star Wars Adventures #7, the first full appearance of Hondo Tanaka. I could see Hondo making an appearance in one of these new shows. And to get a first appearance comic with such an awesome cover, it's got Kanan and Ezra Bridger on the cover too. So we know Ezra Bridger's coming to Ahsoka Tano on Disney. So to me, this was a no-brainer at $200. Another one we talked about is the first appearance of Ochi, the Sith Assassin. This one just sold for $45 plus shipping. You can't get it graded for that, in my opinion, once you factor in shipping to and from CGC plus the wait time. This was a steal of a deal for $45. This is the second print that has Ochi on the cover. I still think we're going to see him in the Obi-Wan series. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But we've already seen the Inquisitorius. They're going to be making an appearance most likely on the Obi-Wan series. to get some other kind of Sith assassins as part of that mini series, it just seems like a no-brainer. And this is such a low cost, low risk kind of buy that I don't know why I haven't bought this for my collection yet, because it's a great cover. So I would look into that one. Another one that's jumping up in price, and one I've recommended, is Bounty Hunters number 14, which is the first appearance of Deathstick, but it's also the first appearance of Bo-Katan in Marvel continuity. You know, the last time I recommended this was $60 or so. Now it's selling for $100 plus $20 shipping, so it's almost doubled in price already. I would really keep an eye out for that one. I have not added this one to my collection yet, but it's one I'd like to get because it's a great cover. It's a first appearance of an assassin. She's on the cover, and it's the first Marvel canon appearance of Bo-Katan. And Bo-Katan is rumored to be getting her own show on Disney. That's something I did read on Screen Rant, that the actress who plays Bo-Katan in the Mandalorian series, she might be getting her own show. So that's something to keep in mind, is that Bo-Katan could be... we could be seeing a lot more of her in the future. So I think that's a no-brainer to buy. $100 seems a little steep given how new the book is. It just came out in September of last year. But if you can get it for kind of that $75 and under range, I would grab it. I cannot believe the sales price here. This sales price was so cheap. This is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, number 3. This is the first full appearance of Darth Maul in comics. Now, this is the photo variant. So the photo variants of these kind of books tend to go for less. There's also a really cool purplish cover where it's a close-up of Darth Maul with the red kind of glow from his lightsaber. That one's a lot more expensive. That one's $300 to $400. This one sold in an auction for $105. To get the first appearance of Darth Maul in comics, first full appearance, a 1999 book for $100, that is a steal. If you see another deal like that, you got to grab it. I wish I had seen this. I didn't see it, but it just sold January 23rd. I don't know if it was just bad timing or what, but to get Darth Maul's first full comic book appearance for $105 plus $10 shipping was an absolute steal. And that is one of those under the radar books that, typically this photo cover variant goes for about $200 or so. But to get it for half that price is a pretty awesome deal. And if you see another deal like that pop up, absolutely, it's worth grabbing. Another one that I almost had a heart attack, by the way, folks, we saw in the latest book of Boba Fett, episode number 5, where the Mandalorian, I believe it was delivering the severed head. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but he's delivering the severed head, and there's somebody sitting at the table with spiky hair. And I thought it was going to be the first appearance of Diva Lompop, who is like a bounty hunter that's in the Jabba the Hutt comic series. And I almost had a heart attack. I was like, oh my God, they're already going to show her. She just came out in comics. But, they didn't really explain who it was. So it could be her, it could not be her. But there was somebody in the Book of Boba Fett, episode 5, that looked an awfully like Diva Lompop. She didn't have the green skin, I don't think. I could be wrong on that. I think it was a bluish skin. But I just about had a heart attack when I saw this spiky-haired woman at the table. But this is one I still think is a good buy. This one sold for $62. War of the Bounty Hunters, Jabba the Hutt number 1. This is the first comic book appearance of Diva Lompop, a bounty hunter. I've got a bunch of these coming from CGC, hopefully in a 9.8. We'll see. But this is the Bernard Chang cover. There's also a 1:25 ratio variant cover that's a lot more expensive, but I've seen that one sell for as high as $300 in a 9.8. But to get this one for $62, I think is a good deal and worth looking at. But anyway, I just thought I'd relay that kind of funny story. I literally was like, oh. Another good one that there's a vintage Marvel comic that no one ever talks about that I do think is worth looking at, is Star Wars number 35. This is the first face-to-face meeting of Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. It's not really related to any upcoming content or anything, although, Hayden Christensen is reprising his role as Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan series. But to get the first face-to-face meeting of Luke Skywalker and Vader in a comic, and this one was sold, it was a 9.8 grade, admittedly in an older case, but it was listed for $249 free shipping, and it was best offer accepted. And the cool thing is that this cover has been done in an homage in a recent Dr. Aphra book. So, it's a cool cover. It's like chess pieces, and it shows Vader holding, Luke Skywalker, and it's got all the other main protagonists. But anyway, I'm not saying that this is going to go up in value or anything, but to me, to get a vintage Marvel run, Star Wars number 35 in a 9.8 that has the first face-to-face meeting of Vader and Skywalker for under $250 is like a no-brainer. I mean, I would pay that all day long, and it's on my short list now for when I'd like to get. Here's another good one that I have talked about briefly, I believe, but that's Star Wars number 40. That's the first appearance of Rogue Squadron, I believe. And this is an upcoming movie. So, they're doing a movie on Rogue Squadron. And this comic book is really the first, I think, the first full appearance of Rogue Squadron. Another one to look at. This it's been holding steady in that 225 to 250 range. This one sold for $251 in an auction on January 22nd, plus $13 shipping. To me, that's a good price. It's an awesome cover. It's got AT-ATs as well as Luke holding his lightsaber from the Battle of Hoth. What an awesome book. I mean, no matter what happens with Rogue Squadron, if and when it comes, it doesn't matter. I mean, this is kind of the book you just buy and hold forever. It's just an awesome, awesome cover. Finally, one I do have in my collection, thankfully, is Star Wars number 43, and that's the first comic book appearance of Lando Calrissian in Standard Comics. Betrayal at Bespin, an epic cover. It's got Lando and Chaz's favorite Lobot greeting Han Solo, Leia, and Chewbacca as they arrive on the Cloud City. Betrayal at Bespin. I mean, this is an awesome book, and this is almost exactly what I paid for mine. This one just sold for $500. This is the direct edition. There is a newsstand edition for this book that goes for, I'd say $800 to $900 is about the going rate right now for that one. But we all know that Donald Glover is reprising his young Lando role very soon on Disney Plus. To me, this book is a no-brainer to have and hold forever. But if you're a speculator and you're looking to kind of make some money, to me, this is a book that I think will go up in value pretty much. I mean, I just can't see it. I can't see this book not going up in value once all the hype starts and all the trailers start for the new Lando show. So $500 to me is a pretty good price to pay for this book right now, and I'm glad I paid what I did for mine. It's going to be a good buy and hold forever, or one that'll go up in value. So anyway, my throat's getting dry, so I'm going to cut it off here. Thank you to everyone who has been watching and subscribing to my channel lately, and congratulations to Tyler V for winning the graded low gray. I'm going to have some more giveaways here soon. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.